Is this thing on? Check, 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 check. Yep, I think we're good. Hey there, fellow soul anarchists, brothers, sisters, and everyone in between. Welcome to the Sunday Night Burn. This is that wonderful time of the week again where we get together in the spirit of a fireside chat. We circle the wagons, we come together, we talk a little tiny bit about living life on our own terms, and then we get on with our night. Thank you for making me a part of your Sunday night ritual. It means a lot. We have a couple, speaking of rituals, we have a couple of small rituals we do for those of you who are new here. It being in the spirit of a fireside chat, we need some fire. Ideally, I'd like a campfire, but you can't really do that in here. And probably not where you are, too. Maybe you can. I don't know. That's cool. But we can light something on fire. So we'll light a candle. So get something lit up whenever you join me on Sunday nights. And it's a BYOB event. Bring your own beverage tonight. I've got something delicious in my hand, in my glass. I hope you do as well. Cheers. All right. How's your week been? Hope you've had a good one. I have had a great week. A simple week. We're really the main theme in my week has been music. I had the awesome opportunity to open for DJ Paul Thomas. He's a great deep house DJ from the UK that's touring the United States right now. And he played at a club downtown in Salt Lake, and I got to open for him on Friday night, which was tons of fun. Oh my gosh, that was just terrific. A lot of my friends came out. If you were there, thank you for being there. That means a lot that you came out and supported, and I hope you had fun. That's the biggest thing. I appreciate the support, but most of all, I hope you had a good time. And everybody that came out seemed to just really, really enjoy it. I had tons of fun playing. Paul Thomas was just brilliant. His set was gorgeous, and yeah, I had some really great conversations with the promoter too, and he's got a lot of energy and excitement about building up the deep house and progressive house scene here in Salt Lake City. And so that made me really happy because that's totally where my head is at too. Anyway, yeah, fun stuff. All right, well, let's get into it. The other thing that's really been on my mind, like I mentioned last week, is AI. My head is so in the AI space right now. And one of the things I've been doing, I mentioned this in my last burn, is I've been using AI to create images for my DJ sets. And it's so fun. Like I mentioned before, this is probably the most fun I've been having as a creative person, like ever, because not only do I get to play in the realm of curating music, like and because as a DJ, I'm not a musician. I'm more like a DJ is more like an orchestra conductor, and although I am a musician, I play a couple of instruments. I've played in tons of bands, and I absolutely adore that process, and I love it, and I plan to go, do it again someday. There's also something to the experience of being the orchestra conductor that is singular, and it's its own thing, and it's not better or worse than playing trumpet in the brass section of the orchestra. It's just different. And I'm having so much fun with it, to use that metaphor. Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. And similarly, using AI to create imagery to go with my my DJ sets has been kind of like going from being a visual artist, being a photographer, to being an art director. Because now I have this tool that I can just say, hey, when I listen to this song, I have visions that go through my head of a dystopian version of Washington, D.C., and I see politicians running around with elephant heads and donkey heads, and I see them wrestling in the streets. And I see Joe Biden giving a fiery speech from the depths of hell and just things like that, and I can just tell AI what I'm seeing in my head, and it'll just make it for me. And it's amazing. I mean, the pictures have their own like weird quirks to them. Like sometimes people's hands, like limbs will be misformed, like they'll be bent in ways that aren't natural, or sometimes like somebody's hand will have 7 fingers or something. It just does weird things because of the way it functions, the way it thinks. And I'm totally here for it. I like the weird aspects of it. I love the telltale parts of the images that tell you, like, yeah, an AI tool made this. I love it. I think it's its own aesthetic. I think at some point, a few years down the road, kind of like now how we hold up like 8-bit glitch is kind of an art style in and of itself. I think we'll do the same thing with like early AI. I think early AI, I'm going to predict that 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, early AI will be an art aesthetic unto itself. And anyway, it's so fun. I love it so much. So yeah, in my creative life, I'm just becoming more of the director. Technology is allowing me to be more of a director role in terms of the music and the image making, and to focus more on storytelling. And I just love it. But that leads me to my topic tonight. Um, when I first started playing with the generative AI image tools, I found myself having a weird dilemma, because it's like a genie in a bottle. Okay. You log into the system, and there's just a little window where you just tell it what you want. And I found myself kind of freezing up at that window. The first time I ever used one, I'm like, what do I want? Like, my mind went totally blank. And I found that to be so weird. Like, why would my mind go blank when I can have anything? It'll make me any picture I want. Well, there are a few limitations, I'll say that. They won't make any not safe for work pictures. And like, I've tried to make some pretty politically edgy stuff, and sometimes it will balk at that, depending on how pointed my requests are. But other than that, though, it's whatever you can imagine. And so I sat there, and as I stared at this window, then it got very meta for me. I'm like, how weird. I began observing myself observing, and I'm like, how strange is this? I just can't even think of anything to ask for right now. I can have anything I want, in this world of imagery, and I don't even know what to ask for. It was so strange. And honestly, it took me a couple of days to really get into the groove of using it well, and being accustomed to it. It's kind of like, what's a good analogy for this? Like, it'd be kind of like if the gas, okay, imagine this. Imagine the gas pedal in your car, or not imagine it, think about it. Think about the gas pedal in your car, and think about how you have to press down on it to get acceleration. And it pushes back on you a bit, and that pushback helps you, like, kind of make judicious decisions about how fast you're going to go. You have to like kind of work for it a bit. And so that resistance, in a sense, it kind of like alters your choices a bit. Like, you can only push it down so fast, or it kind of controls the motion of the pedal. Imagine if your pedal had no resistance at all. Imagine if it was just like stuck to your foot, like kind of like a bike pedal does, like a racing bike pedal. Like, imagine if you got into your car, and the gas pedal just clipped onto your shoe, and it just moved freely up and down, no resistance at all, and responded completely, perfectly in sync with the movement of your foot. Would you like driving that car? I think that would be a very, very difficult car to drive. It would take so much control, and ultimately it could be a really exciting car to drive, because it would be so responsive and you'd have so much control, but it would be But what's interesting is the resistance. In a way, it would like you wouldn't have as much control at first. Actually, for a really long time, you wouldn't have as much control. The resistance gives you control. And so I've been thinking a lot how about limitations and constraints and how they affect my behavior and like creative choices and a lot of things actually in life. Sometimes having no constraints is almost suffocating. That was kind of the experience I had when I started playing with AI, these AI tools to begin with. Like I just didn't even know what to do or what to say or where to begin, you know? I mean, I could ask for a zebra wearing a party hat, but why would I do that? You know, and then I just start spinning out in my head and like it just got really weird for a long time, you know. And it took a while before I kind of learned an approach to shape my thinking and to be able to write good prompts into the AI tool so it would give me what I'm looking for. Because that's really what the art of AI is asking good questions. It's like the real art behind AI is writing a good prompt, and that is just basically a couple of strings of text telling it what you want. For instance, every session starts out with this the command you issue is imagine. You say imagine and then whatever it is you're thinking about. So, for instance, the one I've been kind of playing around with is a lot of different images of Joe Biden. You know, like the one on the burn tonight. I was imagining Joe Biden giving a presidential speech from the depths of hell. You know, and so I would say, imagine Joe Biden speaking from a podium in the depths of hell. You know, and then it will like churn out a question and or turn out an image, and maybe it's not quite right. Maybe then I'm like, oh no, I want it to actually be imagine Joe Biden speaking from a podium from the depths of hell with Lucifer standing behind him. Okay, then we try that. We see how that goes. Okay, that's not quite right. Okay, imagine Joe Biden speaking from the depths of hell with a tall glass of water on the podium and Jill as a half horse, half demon. You know, and then, anyway, you get what I'm saying. Like you ask for what you want. You can say things like do it in the style of a certain painter, or you can imagine this image being photorealistic, you know, or imagine it in black and white, or imagine it. You just tell it what you want, and so it becomes the art of asking for what you want, and that has got me all kinds of philosophical the past couple of days. There's something to that, the art of asking for what we want. And gosh, I fell asleep on the couch earlier today, and YouTube was just running, and I woke up and there was some entrepreneur on there talking about um, how he made a goal to have $1 billion in cash by the time he was such and such years old, and how he started like getting into like mergers and acquisitions and blah blah blah, all this stuff, and like creating businesses and selling them. And anyway, as I was listening to him talk, I realized this is a guy who knows what he wants, and so he got it. He asked for it and worked. You know, he showed up for work, but the universe had a way of directing his efforts and helping him focus his efforts into the right way to manifest the thing he asked for. He was very clear. He, I don't have those same goals. I want other things, but that's what he wanted, and so he got it. And it's just had me thinking a lot lately about how that's kind of how life is. Life is a lot like a genie in a bottle or the AI prompt. You know, you just tell it what you want. And because we do live in a resourceful universe, we do live in a world that's full of all the things that we want. Whatever it is that you want, it exists already out there in the real world. All you have to do is merge with it. It's all I have to do. It's all any of us have to do. That's all. Sometimes that feels like a big task, but it's out there. There's plenty of money, plenty of resources, plenty of helpers, plenty of amazing, intelligent people who know what you need to know to do the thing you want to do. It's all there. And chances are somebody's already done the thing you want to do and they could teach you. Chances are. Anyway, it's all there. You just have to ask for it. And so don't get, well, just think a little bit about, here's another application of where choice becomes kind of like problematic for a lot of people. I've watched a lot of people in the dating and relationship space. And for years, people have been talking about dating apps and how, and anybody who's been on the dating apps, you know what I'm talking about. This next part is going to make tons of sense to you. One of the problems with the dating app is it goes against everything that we were wired up with. Like we've evolved to survive, to like prosper in tribes of a couple hundred people, and that's about it. And to live and die and make our families and everything within the context of a few hundred people at a time. And now, which means that when it came time for mating and marriage and making a family and all that, you had a handful of choices. And for millions and millions of years, people made those handful of choices work really well. Well, now you have hundreds of choices every day on this. And it's paralyzing because what ends up happening is it's very easy to start thinking that all the faces that you see on that little screen are actual legitimate choices when most of them really aren't. For a number of reasons, they're not. But they kind of look like they are. And it's easy to believe that they are on some level. And then that also can become paralyzing. The whole, well, what if I don't make the right choice? What if I don't pick the right one? What if there's something better for me out there? That whole mindset. And I believe that keeps a lot of people from properly investing in a relationship and doing the work and showing up all the way and really deriving the benefits of good love. That can be, anyway, that's just another one of those places where unlimited choices, kind of like the gas pedal, with no spring on it, is a bit of a genie in a bottle that can be weirdly stifling. Another thing, I'll just kind of wrap up with one other analogy. One thing I have found in my work in marketing, because I work in a marketing department, my day gig, I do filmmaking in a marketing department, but a lot of times we'll get handed a project, and the project will have, rather than the CEO coming to us and just saying, "Make me a thing, just make me something awesome." He never does that. He comes to us and says, "I need this. I need a video that's like this, that includes this type of topic that is about this long, and it's for this audience." We'll get a couple of parameters. And once those parameters are given, then it's like really, it's interesting because it's kind of like the spring on the gas pedal. All of a sudden it becomes very easy to create against those parameters. And within those parameters, they are jumping off points. So anyway, jumping off points, that's a whole other rabbit hole. But anyway, I just to wrap up, I invite you this week to be thinking about how choice affects you. In what parts of your life do you have too many choices? In what parts of your life do you have not enough choices, or maybe unacknowledged choices, maybe choices you've been ignoring? In what parts of your life would some parameters, make it easier to think and to create and to get clear? And for those who are curious, dude, Midjourney is amazing. I bought their cheapest membership is like $10 a month, and it is the best $10 I've ever spent in my life. It is fascinating. There's so much to say about this. Get involved. Be thinking again, like I said last week, be thinking about how AI is going to affect your life, your job, and your career, because within the next couple of years, it's going to change everything. You aren't going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by somebody who uses AI to help them do their job even better. That's what's coming. So be that person. This is, I mean, we're dealing with a revolution of technology and energy and potentiality that is akin to cavemen discovering fire. But we have the advantage of being a caveman that understands fire is being invented 3 caves down. And we have a little bit of time to think about it and to prepare for what we're going to do with that fire. So that's where we're at, my friends. It's both terrifying and exhilarating and amazing and mind-blowing, and it's all the things at once, but mostly exciting. So, all right. Good luck. Hope you have an amazing week. A couple things. Speaking of this whole AI thing, this whole imagine thing, it got me thinking so much about there's something kind of magical about that prompt, being able to type imagine and then whatever I want. So I made a t-shirt about it. And you can find those t-shirts in the Soul Anarchist store. The link is in the video's description. Just go to soulanarchist.com, click the shop link, and you'll see. It's a simple design. It's very nerdy, and I love it. Hope you do too. You can also get yourself the Chaos Sphere shirt. And the Chaos Sphere, again, and there it is up on my wall right there. The beautiful stained glass Chaos Sphere. The Chaos Sphere is a sphere with 4 arrows penetrating it on 4 different planes. And it invites us to consider that at any given point in time, there are multiple versions of reality that have nothing to do with each other, that are all equally real. It's an invitation to humility. And yeah. Oh, and subscribe to my DJ channel. That's also linked over there. That's a lot of fun stuff's going on over there. That's 100% the most fun thing in my life these days. So I hope you join me over there if you like that kind of music anyway. All right, my friends, let's get out of here. Let's get on with a Sunday night. Love you all. Keep up the fine work. Cheers.